conclusion, but that's what happened to Navi, and they actually lost the first map. So anything can happen here. Some crazy things have gone on. Like last half, it didn't come down to any sort of tactical craziness. It was just Pasha just running around, kind of just getting free headshots wherever he went.
It was insane. I didn't see one. I watched so many train demos for VP to see what they're all about. They didn't really throw even one of their slow takes. Not at all.
They knew like the economy was in their favor. They could just run around and utilize that.
Well, very well played. Very well read. 3 Kevlars here, smokes, 2 smokes actually on Zeus and Guardian, so they opt in for the grenades. 3 Kevlars actually for the CTs, 1 kit onto Neo, and Taz spotting here in lower. Guardian takes the first shot. Taz smartly will back off, try to get to a better position. And Guardian with his mint kimono, that gun is sick. I'm gonna have to buy one right after this. Maybe even during this, let's see. Guardian trying to find an opening. And 2 on the inner bomb site. We saw Navi actually put 3 on their pistol round, like right off the start, expecting a quicker rush. Pasha trying to, whoa, there it is! With that P2K, bringing down Edward real fast, that man advantage. And we can see 2 towards Ivy for Navi, and it looks like, I mean, he's backed off far enough, maybe kind of reading into this, expecting it, having seen the mid-room, no one is there. And Bialy, his gun is spotted first, but he still flicks to the headshot for Flamey. Absolutely insane.
I have no idea how he got away with that, but C's does take down Pasha. He actually gets a 2-man as well. Taz going down, Guardian takes down Snacks, and now it's a one-on-one situation. Neo versus C's. Bomb is yet to go down here, and they're going to be ringing around the rosy here on the bomb site, and he's going to be left with 20 HP. C's knows he has to win this round, and Neo does it! Takes him down, and what a crazy round that was. And that's going to be fantastic stuff for VP, and what a strong position they are in now.
Doesn't get much closer than that on the pistol round. The 1v1, some heroics there for Neo to close it out. Bialy as well, that flick shot was insane.
I can't believe he got away with that. He was just like, he looked like his AFK was looking towards the outside bomb site. They could see his gun as well. It looked like they had the one shot in there. He turned around 90 degrees, 1 bullet. Phenomenal stuff from him. Pasha opening the round up yet again with a great P2000 1 bullet. We saw him do that on Overpass as well. He is in some great form right now. It's great to see him bounce back after some recent events they've had at the Vincere and Gfinity as well.
We'll have Hiko break down the quick reactions there from Bialy when we throw it back down. All right, so Navi forcing up here makes a bit more sense, I guess, from their side on the Terra side. It's very easy to storm onto this B site and get the bomb down and get some extra money back for having spent all of this on the armor. Grenade though goes in, lights up Zeus, and here we see now again they like the submachine guns a lot, but at least on this map they're playing close up with it. And Taz here able to get 1, finally will fall, and a 3-on-3 just like that. But Snacks now coming in with a FAMAS, finds the double. It is now again just Guardian. His P250 may look amazing, but I don't think it's going to help him out of this 1v3.
No, there's not really much he can do. They know his position. They're going to probably just keep one person on the inside bomb site. He's playing very far back, ensuring he doesn't plant. This is what VP plays so well. They actually utilize the submachine guns perfectly. They have 1 rifle to kind of anchor them, stay at the back, rotate and help them out. And the SMGs can do real work here. The Guardian on the upper bomb site here won't be able to do anything at all. And he gets shut down. And this is where it gets very difficult for Navi. You can see their money there. Will they opt to, hopefully they don't force by here. Take a full eco, for the love of God. Do not try and force this one again. You're not going to win the round. The best thing they can try and hope for here is somehow getting a bomb down. I would say this rushing inside again could be a good call, just because they got a couple of kills there. Rush inside, get a bomb down at least, and that's a perfect round for them in this sort of situation.
Yeah, plant would be fantastic for Navi, able to get a nice solid round. 19 will be the first rifle. Still some submachine guns in here. And actually, P250 and 5.7 for Bialy and Neo, who went down and aren't opting to buy into anything else. Guardian, though, has gone out. He's actually pretty far down, but Pasha now finding 2 there. Must have been a little bit lined up, and now a 3rd as he turns around with this P90. And there it is. Flawless for VP. Everyone lives.
VP looking very strong right now. And one thing to note is that Navi kind of have to buy this. They can't afford to get the AWP out, so they'll be relying on the full rifle setup. This is kind of a good decision. I'd like them to just utilize a set B, so get themselves in a position where they can get the wall of smokes down, get a bomb plant down, and like you can see the VP. This is the time to get around for Navi. They've kept the SMGs. If VP win this one, they're going to have so much money. It's going to be impossible to play against. So this is a must-win round for Navi right now. If they lose against the MP7 and the P90, something's gone horribly wrong.
Well, the P90 I'm okay with. The MP7 is a little less proficient up against those armored riflers. But let's see. Neo finds that opener, and Taz coming in with the MP7 has to do nothing. He will spot the bomb, and hey, got himself an AK. So goodbye MP7. Pasha still with the P90, and this round starting off as a disaster. No other way to put it here for Navi. They were all so far from that bomb as well. They're trying to make their way back over. It's going to be Guardian to come out first. Some smoke still down. I don't think he wants to kind of chance it around the smoke. Edward, though, will find Pasha outside. Took a lot of damage for it. 92, down to 8 HP right now, and Bialy still holding on to the back of the bomb train. He might actually get flanked around. There is a player there. It's kind of flamey on the back lines, and there he will find him. So Bialy to fall, and Navi crawling slowly back into it, starting this from a 5-on-3, right? So
yeah, it's
even
kind of
thus far,
interesting when you've got the bomb down here, how you've actually managed to give away a couple of frags like that. They keep smoking off the bomb perfectly. I don't know. All you need to do is hold the flanks. You don't need to face them at all. And another frag going in favor of Navi. Guardian picks up a headshot and the snacks there. And all of a sudden, oh, okay, Neo picks up his third frag of the game. And it's going to neutralize things a little bit. But Guardian does sneak away with the bomb.
And they'll come down ladder very quickly to outside. And they're making a sweat up here on these rounds, coming so close. Bomb will go down. It is a 1v2, with both of them coming in through. And he'll take it. He gets the 1v1. Now it's up to Taz. Forced to clutch here. Trying to peek around outside, and he will get it.
I thought Guardian had that. He had a great position on the CTs there, opening up that first frag. Taz locked onto the bomb side there. You expect a Guardian to take that one. But what a fantastic round from Neo that was. A lot of people have been criticizing his AWP. Like we had a quick look at the forums last map and he said, oh, what's Neo doing with an AWP? But he just absolutely won that round for them there. 3 huge frags, locked down the bomb as well. And I feel like VP made that a lot harder for themselves than they had to.
Yeah.
Like giving away those frags outside, you really didn't need to. You just needed to completely strong arms the inside bomb side, hold the flanks and make them work for those picks. It seemed like they were trying to close it out a little bit too quickly for my liking. But there we go. It's going to the 14th round in favor of VP now. 5 AKs, 4 Navi, but they've got 3 smoke to play with, nothing else really. It's going to be a very difficult round for them to even get the bomb down.
Yeah, let's see how this rifle will go. We see some aggression coming in from VP on inner, and Pasha pushing out towards Ivy. Looks like he just doubles this, some symmetry, right? He plays it on T side and CT side, just locking down Ivy in the initial pick. And because of that, we saw the inner. Taz didn't even have to go in, and Snacks is going to find another, and the round once again falling apart. Another 3v5 that Navi is going to be faced with.
This is just looking a little bit boring for Pasha now. He's just not even getting any sort of contention whatsoever. He's just facing every angle he wants, taking people out from 100 meters. And now he's got the bomb there in the T-spawn area. Navi have 2 men left before he goes to match point, and this next frag should be so important. Pasha, of course, he picks it up. The form he's in right now, he's not going to miss those ones. See, he's going to be the last man remaining here. 3-on-1 situation, bomb down in T-spawn. Time is ticking away. And he's going to be locked in his connector area here. He's going to, as long as VP don't have a shocker like they did at last land, the rain 1-on-4 situation, they should be fine here.
Yeah. Man, Pasha's just been walking around on these maps. Like I thought Navi was good. Like that's what people were saying. And Pasha just running out here with doubles, triples every round. He got the ace on overpass
for some reason.
And he's the player that's always criticized the most too. And he's just absolutely destroying.
And you can see here, desperate last attempt to get back into this game. I think we all know this one is over. When you've got a Scout, a P90, and Flamey kind of deciding how he's going to approach this one into Galil.
Oh, and a Galil.
Against such a VP side, and they've got 10 rounds to play with. Like, you think this one might be already be done. Like, they're doing this as a formality now. Rush inside for the looks of things. Let's just end this one now.
So he's going to try to get the entry, but it's Neo there, very, very close. We saw Guardian with some success there, the one of the 5 rounds that Navi has. Taz now also locking it down on that lower train, spraying. I'm not sure how spammable that top bar of the bomb site is, but it doesn't matter. The players are falling. It's Edward all by himself. One jumping scout shot onto Snacks, and they're done. Yeah, this is a
that's kind of rude. Like, at least your teammate finished the round.
So Neo
there we go.
Closes it out. 16-5 on train, and VP take the series, winning the first map overpass in overtime 19-15, and just absolutely dominating here on train.
Navi just never really arrived. Is that again? We saw again. There's that CT economy. A lot of teams haven't seemed to have mastered that yet. I know forcing up can be viable, but sometimes you just have to take the hit and say, okay, we need to take a Felica here. We go into the first gun round about our best player not having his AWP. We're going to get ourselves in a very dangerous situation. We won't have the kits to defuse the bombs. We saw that happening as well. If they had kit and balance their economy out, they could have full defused in some sort of situations. But
there's the manners.
Yeah, well,
they left the server early, but we got a nice classic handshake.
I think these guys are always going to be good sportsmen towards each other. It's just a shame that Navi just had such a poor showing in that final round, the final map there. It was just very disappointing for them. And great, you can't take any away from VP though. Pasha especially, MVP for me. Like you've got so much highlight footage you can take from him. That's amazing stuff from him.
Yeah, I actually want to go back one round. So remember the round where Neo hit the initial shots towards the boiler and Whitehalls? They had a 5v3 from VP's perspective. The bomb is down, and they were so adamant on defending that bomb position that they ended up losing players because of it. I'd rather, when the bomb is down somewhere like that, can we just back off? Like, even if they get the bomb, they shouldn't win the round.
They had a really good idea, right? So they had like 4 smokes remaining. So they were just smoking off the stairs time and time again. But it's the fact that they could have just kept the AWP on that point there. No one else was a contend whatsoever. As long as he's got information on the bomb and he can tell the teammates, okay, I can still see the bomb, they haven't got it yet, they're in no sort of trouble. And then even if they take it, you can say, okay, they're not going to come inside, you guys can stack outside. We've got a 5-on-3 situation here, right? But the thing is, they allowed VP to actually... they allowed Navi to get some picks on the outside bomb site, and all of a sudden it came down to a 1-on-1 situation after that great start for them. So that was a pretty crazy round, but there were so many times there where it just seemed like Navi just didn't have any sort of answer there. Like Guardian, a couple of rounds he got early picks as well, but Pasha would just go absolutely ham and pick up 3 headshots of his own. He was instrumental there. Like we said before, it wasn't down to any sort of tactical prowess from VP. We know they've got that in their arsenal.
They didn't have to use anything.
They didn't have to do it. The economy was so ruined on the CT side. They didn't have anything to actually hold off the T. So they could just really run around outside, get headshots. Pasha firing all cylinders there. So amazing stuff from him. And that's going to be interesting to see how this tournament pans out now. What's Navi going to do to bounce back from this disappointing first game of the day for them?
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe we got the warm-up section, so maybe hit some DMs. I don't know what was going on. But, man, absolutely crazy. And like, VP just beat Navi 2-0, who were most people's favorites to win the whole tournament, and they beat them on Train, and VP didn't even have to show a strat.
Yeah.
So that's amazing for them going forward.
They got 10 rounds on T, right? So like going into CT half, like for me, if I was a caller going in there, I think we've got so much room to play with here. The only answer Navi ever had there on their CT side was when they started doing random pushes, right?
Random aggression.
It wasn't even like formulated. It didn't seem like there was any sort of plan there. It's okay, 3 of you, let's just rush inside. Let's see how that works. Okay, that works. 3 of us, let's rush Ivy this time. Oh, actually we're getting round, so maybe we should keep doing this random stuff. So there you go.
All right, guys. Well, analysts are ready, so we're going to throw it down to the desk. It's going to be, of course, again, Scoots, Seiko, and Thorn. So, guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, that was not at all what was expected. A swift 2-0. Obviously, first game went to OT, but that second one, Virtus.Pro, the plow, was kind of enforced a little bit there.
Yeah.
I mean, go.
I mean, T-side, if you ever win 10 rounds on T-side of Train, it's pretty much over at that point. I mean, you see Pasha, 30 kills, 10 deaths. That's the form I like to see of Pasha.
Yeah, I mean, even though Guardian did show up on this second map here, first of all, I'll just set it up like this. Props to Virtus.Pro, that's why you can never count this team out. Because they're so experienced, because they're such a legendary team, they do have that switch they can flip. They can do this to most teams in the world. With that said, when you talk about Na'Vi, this was not the Na'Vi that's been on sick form recently. This wasn't even the Na'Vi of 3 months ago, the one that was the upset potential. The thing there was they would either beat you outright and upset you, or they'd play you close and lose. This Na'Vi got, after that first half, basically, after they were up 14-7 on the first map, ever since then, it's just been Virtus.Pro the whole way. And okay, Guardian showed up this map. He did redeem himself a bit. The guy who didn't show up in any of these maps was Flamey. He was absolutely absent. We saw there after the first map, Starks was having like this in-depth conversation with him. You could probably like issues in terms of how he played, what he's choosing to do. Even though, like we said, this coach, it's almost like a mentor role where he's directly directing what he's going to do in the game. He wasn't able to show up at all. And like I said, I mean, it's one of the notes I gave you, like it's the Flamey factor. Yes, Guardian's always been their best player. Yes, they've always been a good team. They've had the good tactical style. The one thing that had changed is Flamey came in and he was playing like a star. He hasn't been that star in this series here. And you saw when that wasn't the case, VP was imperious on this second map. And this was, remember, I mean, hey, props to VP as well. They somehow knew Train was the map for them. I thought Train was the one that they definitely should not be picking. They knew something.
No, and if you're looking at just the Na'Vi body language, just going into Train, like you could just see they were getting really, really upset and really, really down each other. And actually, it's worth saying, like the last round, I think it was like a 2v5 or something, and the three guys that were dead just left the server before the round even ended. So you can tell in their face, like
not a lot of confidence in your teammate. That I'm off, mate. See ya. Yeah. See you out back. Good luck though. Fair play to you.
No, exactly. So I mean, obviously there was probably some inner team turmoil stuff going on, and you hate to see that. I mean, Na'Vi is definitely a world-class team, and it's unfortunate to see a team like that just kind of crumble when they start to lose.
That's when VP is at their most fun to watch, though. Yeah. It's when they do work on T side. Because like I say, they play like men. They just decide, we're going to this spot, it's happening, follow me. It's like they're not even a confidence team in terms of like one player. It's like it just spreads to everyone. And that's when they just seem like impossible to beat when they're rolling like that. I mean, it can work against them. When it's not working out for them, you see all the infighting, you see when they pause, it doesn't look like it's like a friendly chat, like, hey, let's just do things differently this time. It's like they're going at each other, but when it's working, it's spectacular to watch. And at the moment, if VP can play like that going forward, they can win this whole tournament. And you have to ask now, Scott, listen, VP's won this series here. Remember, in the other series, Cloud9 and Mouse are supposed to want to win the series, right?
Yeah.
If you win the series, congratulations, you get the prize of playing Na'Vi in a best of 3.
Yep.
So, I mean, you play VP otherwise, so it's like pick your poison there. But that's not what you were planning for. You weren't planning for Na'Vi in the semifinals.
Yeah, makes sense. And again, as he says, Virtus.Pro does go through number 1, meaning Na'Vi goes through maybe number 2. They're not out yet, though. They still drop down. They will play the winner of Luminosity Tempo Storm. That is in map 3 right now. So that's who Na'Vi has to wait to play. And obviously on the other side of the coin, that next match on the B stream will be CLG Liquid. Our next match will be Cloud9 Mouse Sports. We're going to talk about it in depth. This break will be a little longer. Obviously, we're swapping out main stage teams. It takes a little longer to unplug everything, plug everything back in, but we'll be right back. Well, I won't say right. I don't want to get in trouble, this short break thing. We'll be back after this break to talk about Cloud9 and Mouse Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MLG.TV arena. Chris Puckett here with Taz, our winners Virtus.Pro. You took out Navi. Taz, first and foremost, congratulations on the wedding. We saw you with the face cam. The ring's looking good, brother. How did it all go down? How are you feeling now as a married man?
Well, it doesn't change that much, you know. It's more from the women's perspective. My girl feels better. She thinks that it's kind of, you know, like handicap or stuff like that. So I just give it for her, do it for her, so yeah.
I love it. Well, I got a wedding coming up here in October. I think same way.
How do you feel about it?
A little bit nervous. A lot of things to get done before then. But it's great to have ladies who support esports, man.
Your girl is not doing this for you? my girl, like, did everything, like 95%.
Mine's about 99 right now. I'm doing a little bit. I picked out the food. All right, back to the games. Just took down Navi 2-0. Big surprise for all the analysts back in the green room, especially after the way game one started. Where did the comeback come from? What changed with your team there in the second half of game one?
I just wonder where is the surprise. I mean, what's the surprise? Like, we historically speaking, we tend to have good results against Navi, especially lately. Like, we lost maybe on Overpass, on LAN, but something's changed in our team. So, well, we played Overpass. We knew that they will pick Overpass. We were ready when it came to T side, but as CT, we just gave each other too much information about how they play. We were saying that we can't do aggressive here. We need to play together, like when we are pushing and stuff like that. So in the end, like, people were playing like bots, and they had very good start, 9-6. And during the game, we just started to talk with each other that, okay, guys, just play aggressive. We need to play more aggressive. Like, don't be afraid to do mistakes and stuff like that. And it started to work. We had like 6 rounds, which is pretty bad as CT, but there was a start. But as T, I think that we did like big mistake rushing B, because they were like with 4 guys there. We did very bad push there, so it was awkward to play from this score. But in the end, we just saw that there's a weak spot when we are going B and just not allowing Guardian to pick us. Like, when I saw him killing us like ducks on long, I decided that there is no reason to go there, because last time we played Overpass, he was also killing us like a lot on A, behind the hiding behind the truck, hiding behind the green boxes. So it's his sweet spot. So why go to the one of the best sniper in the world and give him like his best spot and just fight with him? Just screw it. We are going B and come to us, and it worked.
It definitely paid off. You guys finished strong there in overtime. Game number 2. Train, it looked pretty one-sided. From the T side, you guys were able to dominate. Pasha was in full form, but I want to talk to you a little bit about the in-game leader position. That is something that you have taken on once again. How has it gone down in the past tournaments? Who was leading, and how did it come about that you would take on that role once again?
Well, it's hard to actually talk about it, because we were changing in-game leadership, but we always had like small amount of time to actually get prepared before the event. And I think that both Snags and Neo had like very good sense of the game, and they always had good stuff during the game, like ideas during the game. But when we change in-game leadership all the time, people tend to forget how they play their roles. So they can't, we need to change and adapt to Snags leading, we need to adapt to Neo leading, and now it's the same. Guys need to adapt to me as an in-game leader. So what we try to do now, at least I try to do, is to change like the least stuff we can as T side and just play as we played under Neo when he was leading for like 3 days or 4 days, right? But still, like, we practice these 4 days. And just play from it and play aggressive, just be prepared for what is opponent playing as CT side, as you could see. Find the weakness and just push it with 4 guys or more people.
It's been really fun to watch you guys so far. You're the first team into the bracket. Up next here on the main stage, we'll see Cloud9 and Mousesports fight for a spot in the bracket as well. Who are you expecting to see join you there in the bracket?
I think that Mousesports has a really good shot. They're playing a lot better lately. They seem like addition of Nex, and Gobi is coming back to his form. So they look very strong. I would say it will be a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if Mouse will win. I think it should be 2-1 for either team. It depends who's better prepared against who. I think that Sean proved that he is a great in-game leader when it comes to reading the team and preparing something against the team. But Gobi was known as a player and in-game leader who's team was always very well prepared, and he had a good sense of who's playing against. So it will be a very interesting game, and it's really hard to pick one team.
Okay, it's going to be a great one. That's coming up next year. Final question, though, for you. Everyone in the crowd started to rally behind Virtus.Pro. What do you want to say to all the fans here and also at home watching you right now?
I mean, I hope that if Cloud9 wins, you will not destroy us tomorrow. I mean, if they lose, right? If they lose, they are playing against us. So thank you. Thank you very much. We love you, boys, for this. We are hearing the support, so thank you very much.
Taz, it was a pleasure, my friend. Looking forward to watching you guys again. Up next, though, Cloud9 takes on Mal Sports for another spot in the bracket. We'll be right back.
All right, folks, welcome back to the MLG Arena CEVO's Season 7 LAN Finals. You're hearing the voice of Sir Scoots. I'm also joined by Hiko and my good buddy Thorn, who's joined me on a lot of these desks. Hiko's a new angel, but you're fitting in pretty well. Although that last prediction, you know, you intentionally got that wrong, maybe to show that you're human a little bit. I don't know.
Yes.
Human reactions, maybe. So this one, obviously, Cloud9, Mouse Sports.
Seamless there, Scott.
I know, yeah.
He's a master
I'm
of
just
working
rambling, man.
instructions.
Rambling at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just excited about this, actually.
Okay.
I just want to point out to the Mouse Sports players, maybe they can hear me, maybe not, but I've been given a Sir Scoots jersey. Okay. So just heads up over there on the stage. If you all don't perform too well, you could be out of here.
Sucking up to the talent.
I was Cal Invite, man. I was Cal Invite back in the day. All right, let's get into it. We don't know maps yet. Obviously, that stuff all comes later. But general impressions of the matchup.
I think they match up pretty well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool.
Mouse Sports and Cloud9, I think, have very similar maps. And as we were talking about before, Gobby and Sean Gares are very similar in the fact that they're very... you can consider them tactical masterminds. They're very good at calling mid-round stuff. They're very good at predicting the other team's moves during the round. Obviously, Gobby, legendary 1.6 player. I mean, even at 1.6, he was probably one of the greatest minds, as Thorin said earlier. So now, Sean, a little bit newer in the scene compared to Gobby. Obviously, a lot of people think like Sean is one of the best minds in CS right now. So we'll have to see who's better on the fly. I think historically, I'd have to give it to Gobby. I think Gobby probably is a little bit more experienced. But at the same time, maybe he's inexperienced in CSGO.
Yep.
So we'll have to see.
Yeah. I mean, that's where it starts for me. Is like it's the battle of the masterminds. We've got the two tacticians, because not only are they tacticians and have a set style, but what's famous about this style is the reading of the opponent in game. And the reason it gets interesting when you have two people who do that, other times, okay, you might have like Sean Gares, but if he's against someone like whoever, Happy, Existence, it's more of a set style, maybe then they're just trying to throw him off. Whereas it's two people who are trying to read each other, it becomes the whole game within a game, mind games of like trying to give you a feint here so you think it's something, but I know that you're going to think that, and then I'm prepared with the counter myself, So I think we could get into some interesting territory, especially because Cloud9 knew who they were going to play, and they've had all night to look at the demos. So both masterminds have had time to come up, formulate the plan of what they're going to do, and let's see who gets the better when they actually face off.
Now, yeah, also, I mean, just from personal experience with myself, like, I remember the first DreamHack we went to, like, Sean and my team really tried to anti-strat Fnatic. And the thing that Fnatic was really good at is reading that we knew what they were doing and just change on the fly, and we didn't have an answer for that. So I feel like if Mouse Sports kind of has the same mentality, they come in knowing, okay, these guys probably watch all our demos, they probably know exactly what we're going to do, they guess the maps they're going to play, and Gobby is able to change something on the fly and just counter what they're trying to counter. I can see Cloud9 having a big problem.
Well, I want to keep on this battle of tacticians. They had time to do your homework, like you said.
Yep.
Now, does the fact that Cloud9 has POVs out in the public from the last big event, does that, and obviously Mouse Sports doesn't have them in the same way, English, etc. Like, should Sean and gang be worried, or do you think in the time that they tweak them enough that they can't get purely anti-strat? Because obviously there's this big debate about POVs, how great they are for us fans, but how literally terrible they can be for a pro team. It's like strats.
I mean, I think Gobby definitely is has the advantage because they can listen to it, and I don't think the way Sean calls really varies very much. So I think if they actually know exactly how he reacts to different things, Scott dies early, they're going to do this instead, Sean's going to take over, Jordan's going to take over. I mean, Gobby can definitely, use the POV to their advantage, and Cloud9 doesn't have that advantage because they don't speak German.
Yeah, and that's the big debate with the whole idea of the POV streams in the first place. So, all right, let's talk about Nex. You wanted to talk about the emergence of Nex. So kind of walk me through your thoughts on that.
Well, that's been one of the other factors behind this. Listen, it's easy, because it's always sexy if you use tactics with like less skilled players to win. It's like, hey, we beat them with our brains and team play, not just raw aim. It's easy to overlook the fact that they've also got now a legit star player on this team, Nex. Like when he was at Gfinity and they made the top 4 there, the Summer Masters won, he was like one of the top 3 players in the whole tournament. It wasn't his fault in any sense that they didn't get to the final. He played phenomenally almost every single map, every type of opponent, and he was playing some world-class players, Kenny S, Forrest, Get Right. He was playing very good players, and he was having success. He was getting his numbers. So I feel like he's actually emerged as like a legit star in his own right, and the German scene didn't have one at the moment. They had the team, they had Penta did some okay results. Now Masters, the team's coming back, but as an individual player, they've now got someone who's one of the world's best players. So the reason that's interesting in this matchup is, obviously on Cloud9's side, it's not just Sean. It's Sean, yeah, but what tools does he have? Shroud, Skadoodle. We know how powerful these players are. So if you're on Mouse Sports side, you've got to have something to answer that just firepower-wise, because otherwise you're going to give the advantage. Even if Gobby wins the mental battle, if the other guy's got the better tools and he can use them better, then he's going to win out overall. You still have to shoot some headshots in this game. So Nex can definitely go up against someone like Shroud skill-wise. And I actually want to see that. Like, what if Nex and Shroud are going directly head-to-head? Is this someone who can beat out Shroud? Now, in terms of Skadoodle, that's where Cloud9 does get an edge, because You've got Chris J's the main AWPer over on the mouse sports side, and he's famous for being inconsistent online. It's not that he's bad, he'll have good maps, but online he's been so spectacular his whole career. That's why he's got the rep for being the guy who's the online superstar. Now, Skadoodle is a superstar in every aspect of the game. Amazing AWPer, so stable. So that's another matchup there where I'm very much expecting C9 to have the advantage. I think Shroud Next is pretty even, Godby, Sean Gez is even. I think an area that can be an advantage is Skadoodle versus Chris J. Will Chris J rise to the challenge? Will he just go to a rifle? That's an area where there's a big question mark over on Mouse's side, whereas I think I know what's going to happen on the C9 side there.
And you have Cloud9 number 5 in the world now in your most recent rankings, and Mouse Sports is not in your rankings. Where would you put them?
Well, I think it was like one or two rankings ago, so maybe 2 weeks back, I had them number 10. Like after the Gfinity result, but the problem is they've only had the one good result. And within that, remember, because it was a format like this, they got to win 2 best-of-3s over Virtus.Pro, so it was very big, but it was still only one result. The teams that have replaced them since, some of those have got more results, more stretched out, there's more to go on there. The thing is, I'd have them just like that, hovering just outside the top 10. And that's where, listen, a best-of-3 win here, that's probably going to give you a chance for that 10th spot. Go to the semis here, now you may be getting a couple of spots. You know, this is a chance to rise, because once you get to the bottom end of the top 10, those teams don't have a lot of placings, they don't have best-of-3 wins, they're picking up the odd map here and there, so you can cut through those pretty quickly, as Cloud9 showed us. 3 rankings ago, they weren't even in the rankings, then they went up to number 7, then they got 2 more finals, now they're number 5, so you put together a run of form of winning best-of-3s, beating top teams, and making it deep, and you're gonna rise those rankings pretty quickly.
And let's talk about the new Cloud9. And again, I think you probably get a lot of grief because your non-fans, your haters will be like, well, look how good they are now, bro, without you. And what a lot of people seem to forget, like we chatted about, there was a player before these players, right? So they weren't great after you. Thoughts on this new roster? Obviously, 3 finals in a row, doing great. Really have shown a vast improvement the whole time. But just kind of overall thoughts. Could this team win a major?
I mean, if you look at that first Gfinity they went to with the brand new roster, I think everyone would have thought like this team had no chance. Like they looked really lost. Like Freakazoid was not doing anything at that first Gfinity, and then I don't know what happened. Something just clicked in their heads. Like I don't know if Freakazoid was just like, all right, I'm just gonna keep focusing up and just playing my game. And Sean kind of had more time to work with everybody, but something clicked and they just became like a great team overnight, which is really, it's crazy to see something like that happen.
Yeah, that's very rare as well. Usually, when you have the kind of problems they had early on, you might improve a bit, but you're never going to jump levels above. This is a very rare example, and that's the key phrase there. They've become a great team. They're not just a good team, even. Like, I think they're already the best NA team we've ever seen in CSGO. I think of like the old Quantic when it was playing with Nip, beating Very Games. That was pretty good. Then you had the iBuy Power lineup, which had some good results, and then they had the good Face It LAN. This is 3 big international tournaments in a row. Like, once you get to that level where you're making 3 big finals in a row, no NA team's ever done anything like that, especially versus Europeans. And then take it outside of an NA context, you're already getting into sort of like, there might be like 5 or 6 lineups ever that did 3 big finals in a row. So that doesn't make them in the category of like a top 10 team of all time yet, but you've already done some of the things that some of those teams on that list have done. You've got those first check marks done. Now then, if you want to be considered an all-time great team, not just a great team now you've got to add up the other results. Like you're saying, you've got to be a contender for the major, which at the moment they look like they are, but hey, we're going to find out at this event. I think if they don't win this event, they don't get far in this event, now people start to question that. It'll take away a bit of the kind of the luster, the gleam that they've built up from the 3 finals. They have to continue on that form, show us that they are world class. And against a team like Mouse Sports, yes, take aside the rankings, they match up well. On maps, they're going to be playing maps that they can both play, and this is going to be a good stylistic matchup. But in terms of the rankings, there's a huge gap between them, and that's where if Cloud9 want to be a great team, they have to show that there's a big gap there. Like, listen, these guys are good, but they're not on our level. We beat teams that are below us all the time, and then we compete with the teams that are above us. That's what the great teams do.
You saw, obviously, Chris J and Skadoodle there, so that's kind of the big battle. Just talk about those 2 guys.
Yeah, so as Thorin was saying, like, Chris J, historically, I think like at the beginning of CSGO, he started off as kind of like everyone considered him online. Like he was not performing at LAN. Like he had these crazy rounds online where he had this jumping scout. Like he had like a lot of clips. Like I think like NIP, where he just like he aced them just jumping with scouts and like CZs. And a lot of people doubted him. And over time, I actually wouldn't agree with you completely where you say like he's very inconsistent on LAN. I think compared to before, he's a lot better on LAN now than he ever was.
Okay.
So I wouldn't count him out of this. Like I think in terms of Chris J versus Skadoodle, if Chris J is hitting his form here, I can see him competing with Scott.
I don't think it's going to happen personally. Listen, it can happen for a map. It could happen in the odd duel. But overall, when I look at a player like Skadoodle, the key thing about him is he's not just consistent. Oftentimes we say consistent, we mean like an average player, just gives you an average player. He's consistently really good all the time. It's very rare he drops off, and crucially, AWP versus AWP matchups, there's very few people can go head-to-head with that. I've noticed those European AWPers at the moment, even if it's like a device, Olaf, these guys can AWP with the best. They don't go to Skadoodle's site. They don't go and take those 1v1 duels. If they die once, they're going somewhere else. They're having their teammate go first and try and trade the kill. They're not going head-to-head like JDM tried yesterday on Cobble, peeking into Skadoodle's obvious spots over and over, because that's a quick way to lose a $5,000 gun, 4750, but, you know, and to just put your team behind the 8 ball immediately.
But I also feel that Chris J has had the experience against other European top operators like the Guardians, like the Alus, like the Kenny S's, where he knows exactly how to play against an operator like that, where a lot of American teams, the only team we have to play against is Skadoodle. Like, that's the only operator that's really posing that big of a threat. So I think in terms of most of the teams here, at least compared to the American ones, Mouse Sports should be the most equipped to deal with Skadoodle's op.
I think it's also big that Mouse Sports did do so well against Virtus.Pro at that Gfinity, because we know Virtus.Pro have some power players. They have some guys that are really dangerous, and if you just let them do like Na'Vi did there, you just let them unleash on T-side, you're going to have no chance in the game. They're going to run you over. So the fact that I know the Mouse Sports lineup is not as skilled as Virtus.Pro, they're not as skilled as Cloud9, but they could sort of neutralize or deal with a really stronger lineup, so bodes well for this matchup, because I think if you go man for man skill-wise, it's going to come out overwhelmingly towards Cloud9. Yep. Some of those other players, Speedy, Dennis, they're decent, but I don't think of them as like of the quality of some of the players Cloud9 has. But I do think tactically they can find a way to make it work, though. And it does help as well that there's one of the interesting things about the Mouse lineup is, yeah, God B's still here, Chris J's here. They were in the lineups going back years. But what they did is they brought in that 3-man core that was from Penta, who'd played together a long time. They obviously wanted to stick together because they left Penta as a unit. So it's like you've got the in-game leader, then you've got like a team play basis there. So it sounds like, well, this lineup's only existed like a few months or whatever. Well, no, the core of it, the team play goes back years maybe. They can maybe play positions off each other. They have a sense of what that guy's going to do. I think that adds up, that helps.
We just saw the Cloud9 stats for the season. We're going to see the Mouse Sports ones in a minute. One thing I wanted to talk about to you is Semphis. Yep. Right? Duncan, you've said all weekend long, you know, a good in-game leader really needs the soldiers to listen to him, right? Right or wrong, I'm going to run through that smoke for you. I'm going to do whatever you need me to do, boss. And I know that when it was your old team, it was Sean Garris being the in-game leader, but Semphis very active, very mid-round caller, and also maybe not accepting Sean's calls and kind of doing his own thing. You now play with him in your new team. Is that accurate? Is Sean finding his form, I guess my question, because he's being left alone to do his job without all those people in his ear?
I think this is the lineup that Sean definitely would excel in more so than one with Semphis, because, I mean, as Duncan and I have been talking all weekend, like, one of the main problems with Semphis is that he wants to, you know, do what he wants to do. He doesn't want to call strats, but he wants to have the ability to just like veto a strat and just call like a force buy, right? So we, like, a lot of times when I was on the team with Sean, like, Sean would sometimes want to, you know, save to have smokes and mollies for an execute, but then Semphis would be like, you know, hey, we got 4 kills, we need to keep buying. And I don't necessarily disagree with Semphis, but anytime you have 2, you know, strong personalities, 2 in-game leader kind of types on a team, like, there's too many Chiefs and not enough Indians, right? Yeah. Like, there's too many people trying to control everything. And I think even going back farther than that, that's the problem we had with Dazed and Semphis, is that, like, both of them would butt heads all the time, and nobody could really do exactly what they wanted. So comparing that to now, I think Cloud9, Sean has, you know, almost free reign to do whatever he wants with any of the players. Like, we talked about Freakazoid, just listening to exactly what Sean calls. He'll do, if Sean wants him to run through a smoke 10 times in a row and he will die every time and keep doing it. Yeah. So I definitely think this is the roster that Sean, you know, has always strived for.
Also, whenever you're talking about players like that, I don't like to just judge them in a vacuum. Like, okay, because he didn't work with Sean Garris, he's a bad player. It's the type of in-game leader you put him with. What's funny is they don't get along and they'll never play together again, but Dazed and Semphis I thought was a much better combo, because Dazed himself, his teams are mainly CT teams. On T side, he's going to do scrimmy stuff as well. So maybe a Semphis kind of adding something in there actually helps you out, you know. Whereas the problem is Semphis and Sean Garris' philosophy on the game is diametrically opposed. Sean Garris wants to play a default style, and the idea is he wants to like open the field up. It's like a quarterback, okay? He wants to read the play and then call the right thing. Whereas it's more like on Semphis' side of things, he wants to just play scrimmy. He wants to make it chaotic. He wants to make it crazy in that sense. that's the problem. Is if it's that sort of a guy who's overruling what the guy who's doing the set style is doing, it's going to be a total clash of styles, and you're going to be veering from one to the other and switching it up so much that the other rest of the team it's going to throw them off. If I'm Sean Gares, part of the reason why I want to do the default style is because I'm trusting that. Listen, when I read the approach, we're going to have full guns. Crucially, this is something you notice when they start to get good. They're one of the best teams with Molotovs. They need the equipment. They can't just have AKs and armor only. They need their flashes. They need their smokes. They need Molotovs. If he has all the equipment, now if he reads correctly and calls the tactic, it can work. One of the most frustrating things if you're that sort of in-game leader is if someone wants to play scrimmy and just half buy all the time, because actually you might have had the right tactic, but you were lacking that one extra flash. You didn't have the one Molotov, so it looks like you lost, like we're doing it wrong here, quit that, let's do something else. It's like, no, it would have worked, like we have to save and do it properly. And so it's just a different philosophy on the game. Like you can't have two players who have opposite philosophies and then have one sort of be allowed to just veto the other out of nowhere. You have to both be on the same page in that sense. So again, it's more like pair the right people together. And so it took them a long time at Cloud9. This isn't an easy thing to figure out. You have to look at the patterns, you know. They didn't know for a long time which direction they were going to go. They let Semphis be the in-game leader for a little while. They had Sean otherwise. So it's more like they were figuring it out themselves. It took a long time, but they've gotten there finally. I think it's been a key evolving factor as well.
It's like you said, that particular in-game leader, Sean, and his style has finally found a roster that kind of fits his, and every in-game leader's different.
Well, there's even a factor to that, okay. So one of the things that people used to criticize at the end when it was going badly with the Shazam era, correctly, okay, is that as a leader, not in-game leader tactician, as a leader of men, Sean Gares isn't very good at it, okay? He's not the forceful person. He's not the locker room guy who's like, listen, you're going to do this, and you know what, you weren't playing well that time. I need more from you. He's going to be more like, listen, can we do this again, guys? It's like a very subdued approach. So the problem is, correctly, with the old lineup, with nothing who seemed uncontrollable, and then you had, obviously, Semphis could do whatever he wanted at any point in time. Sean also wouldn't, like, fight back much. He'd sort of just take it a bit. So that made us naively think, okay, well, he probably just can't be an in-game leader then because you need to be that sort of person. Well, amazingly, he managed to find a lineup of people who don't talk back. Skadoodle and Shark do their job. They don't talk back. Nothing's allowed a bit of a freer roll, so he can do what he wants there. And Freakazoid, I mean, he's the enforcer. He just goes in there, he does it. And that's another thing. If you have that guy who's going to go in there first no matter what, the others follow him as well.
I mean, I think commenting on that too, me listening to their POV streams, like at the last ESEA, Sean has actually changed a lot too. Like he used to be the very passive, you know, let's all be friends, let's all get along, no problems. And now it seems like if something happens that he doesn't like, he will say, do not do it. He will put his foot down, which is not like how he was before at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's a change for Sean Gares as well. It's the thing. He's gotten the team around him now, and then he's like adapted it a little bit before. Whereas the problem was before, he was just exasperated. You know, when things weren't going the right way, it was sort of like, you know, even if I call the right thing, people veto it or they do something different. It's like, how do you get out of that, you know? And so they were kind of stuck in a place where, do we make roster moves? I mean, he even told me a while back, he was thinking of maybe I just become a coach. Maybe that's the move for me. Maybe I don't play, maybe I'm the coach, maybe bring someone else in, maybe I have to retire. I mean, there was times right during the Cloud9 era where he was thinking of retiring, then he came back, and so it's always been up in the air. They've never figured out even Sean's situation. So the key thing about Cloud9, the new Cloud9, is almost everyone is in their ideal position. At the moment, all of it's working. It's not just a couple of pieces working well. So I don't know how long that can last. Maybe this is like the birth of the new NA dynasty, you know? But at the moment, it's working ideally.
It's nice to see. So we don't know vetoes yet. Obviously, they're not here in our face yet. But let's talk about it. What do you think will happen?
See, I feel like what's interesting here is I know Mouse Sports is a good cash team, and we know Cloud9 love cash. Mouse Sports beat Envious on cash, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me think. I think that's correct. I think they beat Envious on cash. Envious was obviously considered a top cash team at the time. I know Mouse Sports play Train, so there's another map, another Cloud. We've got two of the straight-up Cloud9 maps, and then I know, as an outside of their map pool, sort of like a decent, good map, they like Dust 2 as well. Those are 3 Cloud9 maps right there. So I'm hoping we're going to have one of those series where it's not like, let's ban there, but it's most like, let's just play these maps. Like,
I think a map that Mouseboards likes as well is Mirage, which is not historically a Cloud9 map at all. So if I had to take a guess, I would guess that that's the map that Cloud9 would veto.
I mean, this is where I wonder if Cloud9's willing to pull in Cobblestone again. I mean, because actually Cobblestone was one of the maps where Mousesports didn't do well against Envious. Envious just crushed him on that one. Whereas obviously, that's a map that Cloud9 builds confidence on every tournament, it feels like. So that's what, if they want to go away from like, let's just play the strong maps and we think we're better than you. If you want to go that route, which it's true, the meta of being the superior team is supposed to sort of do that. I think we'll push them onto the outer maps, knowing they're not good on them. That's one I'd be going to if I were them. Cobblestone. That's one. But I actually if it was me, if I could choose, I would just wish for a series of like, Train, Cash, Dust 2 Decider. That would be the dream series for me. I think that would be a great match. All 3 maps would be competitive and we could have a real barn burner.
Yep, I agree 100%. And I think my example of Mirage, like I'm just thinking back to CLG yesterday. Like Cloud9 knew CLG was good on Mirage. That's the map they banned. They ended up leaving Cobblestone in, and they ended up playing Cobblestone as well. And Cloud9 did not look lost on Cobble. Like they definitely know how to play it. So I can see them leaving Cobblestone in and maybe even picking it.
Oh, and I just thought as well. So yeah, Cache is still the home map for Cloud9. What if Mouse was watching that game yesterday?
No,
CLG
exactly.
just ripping them apart on T-side. But now, the problem with that is,
Here we go.
less for Mouse. I'm thinking more for Cloud9. Is that in their heads? Do we have to get rid of Cache? We can't risk them seeing that and seeing some weakness. Maybe we've been exposed. Sometimes the mind games get to you there. If I'm Cloud9, by the way, if I'm a superior team, I just put that out of my mind. I'm like, I'm still good on Cache, still willing to play that map. That was an anomaly, won't happen again. I don't think either team's going to go to Inferno, though. I think that's one of the ones that we're going to head away from, I think. Inferno and Overpass, I'm thinking these teams don't want to play.
Inferno has always been, like in Cloud9's mind, even when I was on the team.
They
like,
always think it's
good.
good.
We always think
Yeah.
it's like our best map. And I know I played them recently online on Inferno. They love playing Inferno still. So I wouldn't even count that out, really. Even Overpass. We see Overpass a lot that they've been playing
I was
lately,
hoping
too.
Navi kind of beat that out of them in that ESWC final where they were like, oh, it was their first map. I thought it was warm-up. Ready to go live with map 2, yeah? So, let's see here.
While we're waiting, a stat came out last week or so about Nothing's pistols. Like, he is the pistoler of 2015.
The most kills, I think, or something,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would not have guessed that.
No,
you
no.
know, for his playstyle.
I mean, the obvious one out to get picked would be like Olofmeister.
Yeah.
These guys are nuts with the pistols, you know.
I don't think it's necessarily he gets a lot of kills on like the eco rounds. I think Nothing is just good on the pistol rounds themselves.
Yeah.
Like you see Olofmeister with the Tech 9 on eco rounds, like getting a bunch of kills, but really Jordan seems to get like 2 or 3 kills almost every pistol of both sides of the maps.
So there goes Inferno.
That's also kind of crazy to me because I told you there would be no Inferno. Yeah. The thing that's crazy to me about that as well is if I had to pick just from looking at the game, I would have said Shroud should be the best pistol player on Cloud9. So it's interesting the stats at the moment are telling us that. See, I'm thinking Cloud9 here. I'm thinking something like Mirage or Overpass ban. I think that makes sense in terms of what's out there.
I would say it's either Mirage or Cache. Just because of the CLG thing from yesterday, right?
Yeah. If I were them, I'd just go for the Mirage ban anyway, because why play it when you've got so many other favorable maps out here? No matter what they pick, you're gonna be at home once you've got rid of the Mirage one. There we go, Mirage ban.
Yep.
Now here's the thing: if I'm Mouse Sports now, if I watched the game yesterday, I might even pick Cache here. They already think they're very good on it anyway. Otherwise, maybe Train. That might be an interesting one.
The thing is, again, if Mousesports picks Train right now, that means Cloud9 starts on CT side, and Cloud9 has a very, very good CT side. Skadoodle is probably one of the best operators on CT Train I've seen in a long time. So, are they going to pick Train and give Cloud9 the CT and let Ska just wreak havoc?
If Mouse Sports pick Train, I think Cloud9 picks Cobble. I mean,
I can see that.
I think that's the pick.
I can see that.
And then hope for something like Cache third map.
Or even Dust 2, maybe.
I mean, I wonder what they're thinking of now. What's interesting is you look, Mouse Sports all discuss the picks.
Yeah.
They all talk about it. Cloud9,
It's just
look
Sean.
at Skadoodle here. He's like, I wonder what map I will be playing today. I will probably buy an AWP. And then Sean's just thinking in his own mind, like, okay, Brain, what are we going to do today? Take over the world.
Take over the world.
See, I did that?
Yeah. Nice.
Which I guess would make Nothing Pinky in this particular scenario. Okay, see what happens.
Okay, we need some photoshopping going on right now.
There we go. Pick Cache.
Cache.
Now that's bold, by the way. You're just
Yeah, it
picking
is.
into Cloud9, but you already know it's very good for you, and you did see that yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to watch out for. Remember how successful that A execute was from CLG.
Dust 2.
Dust 2 pick. That's a very surprising pick there.
Yeah. And then Cobble.
And then ideal third map. Well, I think I'm still going to edge it slightly to Cloud9, but I think no team's super strong out of it. Like if it gets to a third map, it'll be all the way, I think.
And I'm actually surprised that Cloud9 picked Dust 2. I mean, if you ever scout Cloud9 on Dust
it's
2,
a bit strange.
They literally rely so much on Skadoodle at long. If he doesn't get his picks at long when they come up cat, they've historically not been able to get a lot of CT rounds. So if they go to Dust 2 and Mousesports end up finding a way to neutralize Ska, they might be in trouble.
Here's the thing as well. Cloud9, just because of the order, they could have picked Cobble here. They could have had Dust 2 potentially be the third map. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see about that. Maybe win or lose when we do the interview, maybe we can get a question to them, find out what they were thinking. That's where I'd love to have the comms of the leader, like this is why we're going to pick this or something. Always good to know afterwards what they were envisioning. But yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be 3 maps. I think we're going to go all 3.
So here's how they stacked up during the regular season. Stats not necessarily against each other, but on the actual map.
It's pretty even all around.
What are you thinking? Who wins what?
Yeah, predictions.
I would say Dust 2 goes to C9. Mouse Sports takes Cash. Cobblestone will be close. And I have to give it to Cloud9.
Yeah, I have the same, actually. I think Mouse Sports is going to get Cash, especially... I don't blow one result out of proportion, but I already thought Mouse Sports is like a sleeper on Cash. I think people know how good they are there and how good they can be on T-side. So they can match the Cloud9 T-side on the map, which is very important. As we saw yesterday, they needed those rounds. So I think Mouse can win Cash. I think Dust 2 will go to Cloud9. I mean, I think of like what Skadoodle can do on that map. I just think that should be their map. Now, Cobble, I think both teams can be good, but I'm going to say Cloud9 because I've just seen them play Cobble recently, and they're always finding ways to make things work. They're adapting really well on CT side. I think they're going to get their series 2-1. But I think it's going to be a great series.
So both 2-1 Cloud9. Yeah. What would change that? Is it Cloud9 playing bad and Mouse Sports playing great, or is it enough that Mouse Sports just plays really, really good and Cloud9 just play? You know what I mean? Like,
no,
like keys to victory for Mouse Sports.
That's the thing. I don't think Mouse Sports has to like play above and beyond, like totally above the rim. What incredible! I think it's true. If Cloud9 at the moment we're talking as though every role works ideally every single game. If they have a game where Shroud gets 15 kills, or if they have a game where Skadoodle just can't get to an AWP because economically they're held down, it's going to give Mouse Sports a chance. Hey, maybe they could just close it 2-0. That's not a ridiculous scenario. I'm expecting the quality should show out, and that. Oh, the thing is, like I said, when I add all the pieces up, I think tactically it's probably a wash. They're both very good at what they do. I think in terms of Shroud next, they're both very good. I know that they're going to be good, but once you get down to like another matchup like Chris J versus Skadoodle, I'm thinking like I know what I'm going to get from Skadoodle here. Chris J has to show it to me over the series still, so I'm thinking there's just enough skill there on the Cloud9 side that they should be able to edge this out.
I think in all three maps, the map that Chris J has to step up the most is going to be Dust 2, like without a doubt. If Skadoodle is able to get the picks early, if Chris J is not able to at least mimic what he did on CT and not get picks himself, they're going to have a hard time. Like, as I said, I know personally from Skadoodle, Dust 2 is probably his absolute favorite map, and that's probably one of his best maps as well.
And here's a key for you as well, that in terms of a key for Mouse to win, but also a key for Cloud9 has to do this to win. When they play Cash, Freakazoid has to be on T side. Yep. He has to be really playing well. Otherwise, that's where Cloud9 struggles. All the big games I can think of that they win on that map, when they were playing Envious, Freakazoid was doing work. Even if he wasn't getting the kill, he was getting the entry, he was taking up space, he was drawing people so Shroud could trade kill off him. In that scenario, if Freakazoid doesn't show up on T side of Cash, I think that's overwhelmingly going to go to Mouse.
See who's up there. Looks like they're still getting set up or getting themselves all adjusted, warmed up, all those good things.
And this is next, closest to the camera here.
How old is he? Do you know?
Not sure. I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say like 22, 23. I think that sounds about reasonable.
Okay. Let's see here. Hopefully we're not too far away, folks, from this getting started.
And obviously, we haven't actually on the mainstream, we haven't watched Mouse Sports play so far, actually. We heard they had this close series on the other stream, the Bravo stream or whatever it's called here. Apparently they played close when they were playing Tempo Storm there, so interesting, because you wouldn't think of a Tempo Storm as a team that's going to challenge the Europeans here. But that's the thing with Mouse, like I say, it's the reason they're not going to stomp people is because they don't have like the super sick lineup of fraggers where they could even just pug you and just wreck you completely and win all the aim duels. They're just going to find a way to winning against each opponent. Like they identify during the game what's going on, adapt, and win out in the end. As long as you do that when you're a tactical team, you're doing your job. You can win every game 16-14 as long as you got there in the end.
And I know kind of from personal experience with my team, Legia, who used to play like really close with Gabi, was our coach. So he showed us a lot of the things that Gabi wanted to do, and even sometimes Gabi kind of weighed in on some T-side stuff. So I know like the way that they kind of base their rounds, the way that they time their smokes, it in theory should work against Cloud9. Like I can see the way that Gabi kind of utilizes how many nades he has, and you know, again, they should know exactly how these players play. Both teams should know how they play. So it's going to come down to not only the personal, who's hitting their shots, but also who has like the better nades, who's able to push the offers back, and who's able to just not die early in the round.
I would also expect in this series, this is not going to be one of those series like Virtus.Pro Na'Vi, where it's a battle of force buying all the time and people with scouts trying to get back in the game and suddenly snap the other guy's economy. Both teams want to have that equipment. They want to have the full buy and they want to just execute their T-side. They're not going to, I would assume they're not going to do these crazy gambles. We're not going to see like Tech9 all the time with armor and a grenade, etc. That's not going to be the approach. And for Cloud9, yeah, like I say, when you watch Cloud9, particularly on maps like Cache, watch out for the Molotov usage. If they have Molotovs, I feel like they're 10 to 20% more effective on their T sides there, because you see they'll always use it to clear spots out and then go in. They don't just throw it willy-nilly as they're going into the site. There's a purpose to the use of the Molotovs, because they're expensive.
And again, this is both these teams have managers behind them, Stunna and Christian on the other side, but I think they both act as more of a manager type, not a
the
coach
flights,
type.
Keep everyone happy.
Yeah, the momentum.
Interestingly, the guy who's the manager of Mouse Sports, actually in 1.6, he was part of ESC, and he was actually the manager of the guys who are now Virtus.Pro, like the guys who, Neo, Taz,
even
those
during
guys.
CSGO, he was with them for a while.
Yeah, early on. So he's been around teams for a long time. Probably knows to let the team work it out for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's another reason why these managers aren't too in-depth. Even if you got a manager who was like a Starix type guy or someone, Devil Walk, when you have a mastermind type in-game leader, again, like we were saying with Semper, you don't want to interrupt that guy. You want to let that guy work. He's going to figure things out. Even if things are going wrong now, he's the guy who's going to decide what is it I'm going to change here, and he has to have full control over the overview of it. Because that's the thing, people like Sean Gares, God B, that's part of why they're not going to have a lot of frags in game when they're playing, because they have to keep bringing themselves out of that, thinking of what their other teammates are doing, because some of them have to be microed, certain players on those teams, and then on top of that, they have to keep the overview of what identity do we have here. Like this tactic might work, but does it fit my style versus theirs? Are we playing like are we playing too fast against this team, and overall we're gonna lose too many rounds doing it? It's like they have to think on a higher level than simply just playing the game. Whereas some of the other in-game leaders, someone like Happy, etc., they've got the bare bones of in-game leading, but they're trying to frag as well. They're trying to think of their own game, and even when they're thinking of tactics, they're thinking like, right, this tactic will work because I'm going to then get 2 kills here. That's not the mindset of a Sean Gares, a God beat. They don't care if they get 0 kills. They're going to put their stars in position to be the most effective, and the role players are going to be where they can be comfortable.
We always talk about in-game leaders all the time, but we rarely ask players, what kind of in-game leader works for you? Who do you want calling strats for you? What's the ideal kind of personality?
See, I feel like there's a story, about Michael Jordan, the basketball player. And before he got Phil Jackson, who was a great man manager and who could sort of get through to him and explain to him why he needed to facilitate the role players, he used to have a coach before who was a little less forceful, a guy called Doug Collins. And supposedly, there was like a game early on where Doug Collins was sort of thinking at the end of the game when it was a tight game, what are we going to do here? And Michael Jordan just said to him, listen, coach, just get the ball to me, and everyone get the F out of my way. I feel like that's the sort of in-game leader.
I was wondering where you were going with this.
That's who Hiko wants. He wants listen, you call the strats for everyone else, put me in position, give me the ball, and get out of my way.
I mean, in theory, that probably was my most successful. For the longest time on Cloud9, I was not involved in any of the strats. I would be the guy, the get right. I'd be lurking on the other side of the map, the solo guy. If my team all died, I try to win the 1v2, 1v3. And it worked for a while. I mean, unfortunately, that kind of playstyle in CSGO with the ever-changing meta and not really, the second that a team starts to respect you as a top team, they start scouting your demos. They know where you go. Yeah. It comes down all to timing, And now in CSGO, I feel like on CT sides, teams just don't rotate anymore. Teams don't take the gamble and they all overstack a site. There's always that guy waiting for the lurker. So now I think if I was to go back to a really professional kind of structured team, I think the Sean style would work the best.
Okay, so you liked.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was different with, like you said, Sempus mid-call and all that stuff.
No, you have to realize when Hiko looks at Cloud9 now, when we described before, Shroud's getting all these numbers, but you look at the game, it looks like, wow, how does he get these easy kills? Where do these 2 or 3 kills just suddenly appear on the scoreboard? You have to think, if Hiko's watching that, he's like, hey, that's the position I want. If I was playing this team, put me in the Shroud spot, I'll trade kills for people, I'll come in later on in the round. That's ideal for me. I mean, that's sort of what you wanted to do when you were in Cloud9 anyway, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the problem with the roster before, when I was on it, is nobody really had the patience to solo the solo sites. It was always me and Sean at the solo sites, and then someone like Jordan didn't have we had some jokes he didn't have the attention span to hold the small sites. He always wanted to push. He was very active, and I think that's why Sean and I played a lot of the site skaters, because we worked well together. We knew we were both on the same page when we were playing, and yeah, I think what Thorin just said is right. That trader style of play, I think that's the evolving. Even Get Right isn't even really lurking anymore. He's playing the more tradey style. So
to pick up on what you were saying now, I was hearing a few words. It feels like Jordan had some kind of there was an attention deficit within the team. It was a bit disorderly, but whatever medicine they found to fix that, it's doing a bang up job. You said it, not me. Cephis, R.I.P.
Yeah, they found a whole new script. Found a whole new script, didn't they?
Yeah. They got a real nice little pick me up. Yeah, they've been following their script regularly. Take 2 and see me in the morning.
All right, before we get fired, We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, the first map will start. Cash, Cloud9, Mouse Sports.
LAN finals here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm misled with me is Launders, and we're going to be bringing you guys Mouse Sports versus Cloud9. And I know we were talking about it earlier. It's finally happening. We saw the groups get released. We knew this matchup was coming, and it's happening now. And it's going to be interesting to see what Mouse Sports can put it to the table here against Cloud9.
Yo, I'm so excited, and I couldn't agree with the analysis more. Like, I think, if anything, this is more than likely going to be a 2-1. Hopefully in favor of Cloud9. A little bit biased, but I'm going to keep it real here, as I'm a huge fan of Mouse Sports as well, and they've got a lot of talent. So here we are on their pick, Cash.
So Cloud9 now going to be your terror-sided team. Mouse Sports will be CT right off the bat. Nothing going over the boost. Able to take down next. That's a great opener. And they're going to continue to push here. Let's see if they can go for it. Dennis goes down at the truck. Speedy's able to get a shot, though. Trying to get another one in the sight, but Shroud will remove him. That leaves Gabi and Chris J left alive. 2v4 now, trying to get the retake. And it's just Gabi now, all by himself here. And rough look, just got dinked. That round is done. Pistol goes in favor of the North Americans.
Yeah, well played by Cloud9. In that situation, they put a couple people up on boost while they split A. And as soon as they came up on boost, it was fully understood by Mouse Sports, I'm sure, that it was going to be some type of A split, and it comes down to hitting your shots in that situation. On Cash, you know, the strats can only go so far, but at a certain point, you're going to have to take serious amount of aim duels. And once nothing was able to hit that entry, it became bleaker and bleaker for Mouse.
And we actually have Mouse Sports now buying into this round quite a bit here. We got 2 sets of head armor out, we got some body armor out, upgraded pistols here, and the Scout in Chris J's hands. So let's see if that can be used to any effect here at A. It's going to be curious. He's going to be over there near the quad at the moment. If he can get this initial shot here, that'll be great. Almost winged Sean Garris. Can't quite find it. There it is. Gets it off, but he is able to hit the headshot on the Shroud, trying to come through Squeaky Door. Can he keep it going? His teammates rotating in. Next will take down Sean Garris. Next is able to get a secondary. Skadoodles right in there. And next with the 3K on the round. And what a huge eco comes out from Mouse Sports.
Oh my goodness. 5 kills between 2 people on an eco. And that really is the power of the Scout in the second round. You can tag someone once, and then they're 1 pistol shot away from getting killed. And if you don't have that explosiveness and you don't trade instantly, and you're coming out of a place like A main, which is pretty much a funnel, you're going to lose the round very quickly. And after a couple of really nice shots, including a Scout headshot from Freakazoid, who's just trying to get an entry frag out, they got shut down completely. That is a momentum killer.
Gigantically so. And one thing is curious, it's almost flashbacks from last night again. I mean, this is historically a Cloud9 map. They do really great on it. It's like probably their best map. They had some trouble closing it out. Do you think that's going to factor in tonight to how they play? Is they going to switch it up based on how they couldn't close it out last night?
No, I want to say last night was an anomaly in the sense that Cloud9 have been really consistent. You can rely on them to win games that they're supposed to win. When they're the favorite, they tend to do well. And I think in this matchup, it's no exception. The only issue is that Mousesports isn't that much of an underdog. And I think Cloud9 know that. They're not going to sleep on them whatsoever. But with that being said, these rounds going back and forth is only going to favor actually Cloud9, considering they're on T side.
Yeah, it's cheaper, much cheaper to be a terrorist at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are into round 3, tied up 1-1 here. Guns in favor of Mousesports. Cloud9's going to try and execute into the A-bomb site. Dennis is there to pick up one from the truck. Same with Speedy. And Chris J rotates in. Scout working well. Gets another headshot with it. And already Skadoodle and Freakazoid will be 2 versus 4. They're trying to go back and get that bomb, but it's down in a great location for Mousesports to cover it here, Launders.
Yeah, they had the bomb coming up highway, and they didn't have anyone to run interference from A main, taking shots. They came out a little bit late, a little bit passively, and that didn't really support our players coming up A main. And that leaves Skadoodle in a 1v4 on this eco. 7 seconds remaining. He's going to hang on to his scout and armor. But yeah, the problem there was they ran that pistol strat, but when their players came up highway, no one was out A main at the same time to help them trade.
Yeah, non-effective trades coming out, so Mousesports will collect a secondary round. That's going to make it 2-1. I thought we had a pause there for a second.
Spangler rage quit.
Yeah, Spangler rage quit, but no pause. I was confused. It looked like it when I saw his name leave. But yeah, 2-1 in favor of Mousesports. They have the gun advantage again here. We still have the scout with Skadoodle, though, so look for him to try and change it out a little bit. If he can get out in middle, possibly try and steal away their scout, they could force up on top of him, try and grab that gun away. They could get into a good round where they can come away with just 2 upgraded pistols.
Yeah. Now, it is always so common that once you get eco'd to try and buy back, because otherwise you're going to be on a double save. And what we have remaining from that round is Skadoodle with a scout who, again, has that power. If you hit somebody once, you hit them with a P250, they could be dead instantly. And so they aren't going to want to throw away this eco round. Already we see Dennis hit down to 27 HP and a couple players encroaching on the B site.
Chris J with the scout again, getting another headshot. That removes Skadoodle. The scout does get recycled into the hands of Shroud. Shroud's going to be trying to play that angle. And actually, Nex goes down, or Nex is able to take down nothing. Speedy's right in there. Chris J with another scout shot on the man that picked up Skadoodle's scout. That was Shroud out of the way. Now it's Sean Garris. He recycles the scout once again. That's smart play by them to be able to recycle the scout so much, but too little too late. Nex is able to take him down with the MP in hand, and that's a 3rd round for Mousesports.
Yeah, extremely decisive 3rd round. If you look at the economy, we have above 7K for 2 players, 5 on the board for Gob, and everybody has enough to rebuy for themselves. So Mouse, even though they did lose the pistol, have come to a point where they're not within 1 of saving. That's really good news for them. Cloud9, on the other hand, have a CZ in the hand of Sean Garris, who only has a smoke to complement it and nothing with a Galil. So that's not very good news for them. If they aren't able to win this round, they're going right back on a save.
Did Ryan just knife Jordan right there? I'm pretty sure he just knifed him right in the back, took him down to 87.
It's probably for good luck.
Yeah, for good luck tap right there, coming from Freakazoid onto his teammate. Nothing. It's not the way you want to start the round out, but it's only a little bit of damage done to him, not horribly bad. And the A execute is going to be coming here from Cloud9. They're going to already be out at the forklift, but good flashbang coming in from Speedy. All those players completely blind. Skadoodle will hit the shot, remove Speedy. That's a good trade out. Then the rotate comes in. Skadoodle able to get a secondary. Same with Shroud gets up in there. Next grabbed one before the trade out from Shroud, so it will be a 3-on-2 in the A bomb site. 2-man retake attempt coming in, and Chris J still with the scout in his hands.
Yeah, Dennis going to be encroaching on the site here. It's a 2v3. They're looking for the retake. Dennis and Chris both have kids to do it with, and oh, Shroud wins his duel, finds a second. 3 kills on the round. 3 headshots. Huge play from him. And I was about to compliment Speedy on doing such a great job on the A site. He threw that molly down at the perfect moment where we had our entry man try to come out and run to forklift, and got a single frag as well.
Yeah, the flashbang that came out right afterwards. I mean, that got Shroud, nothing,
Skadoodle,
and Skadoodle and Freakazoid all in one flashbang.
Yep.
He ended up getting that frag on the Freakazoid. That was great for him. Could have just delayed a little bit longer to allow more teammates to rotate up. That could have been a round Mouse would have stolen away from Cloud9.
Yeah, if he managed to stay, I feel like he did his job as a solo man on the site. If he had managed to stay alive even a little bit longer, that round would have been over. And yeah, Cloud9 did a great job of like taking back control of the site, getting the bomb down, and playing the perfect after plant positions.
Now into round 6, Cloud9 going back to their A strats again. This is what was effective for him last night, but Speedy's already blowing it up right off the bat, able to take down nothing, trying to get out of the squeaky room before Freakazoid trades that frag. But Dennis is still over there behind the smoke, playing this team if he's able to. If he gets through this smoke without them seeing it, he makes it through, thanks to the flashbang, able to get a 3. One man gonna be chasing that. Skadoodle, can Skadoodle get it? He will prevent the bleeding anymore, doesn't allow him to get 4, so Skadoodle 1v3 now. Nex is up at 20 HP, Chris J at full health, and Gabi with 99 HP left. This is going to be a hard 1v3 here, but Skadoodle does have the bomb. He peeks out initially, gets spotted right there, tries to hit the shot onto Gabi. Gabi will take him down from headshot box to the bottom of Highway, and Mouse Sports allows Cloud9 to win one, but takes it right back, not allowing Cloud9 to get 2 in a row.
No, that was an insane play on the site from Dennis. Obviously a huge 3 frag. Need to watch that back later, but that's Mouse Sports stealing back a very important round. Economically, it's hurt Cloud9 quite a bit. They've got enough for 1 rebuy, but on the rest of them, we'll have to save, and they're not even going to attempt to do that. So now they're going to have to fight from pretty much 5-2. Mouse Sports starting to run away with it. I don't know if we're at that point, but at the same time, Mouse Sports look very strong right now. And it's been a series of a-holes. We haven't seen any pressure put over on any other side of the map.
Last night we were seeing it with Cloud9. They weren't having any real luck anywhere but the A bomb site. And I think that's kind of weighing a little bit heavy on them right now, because that's where they've been having luck so far, even though they haven't really tried anything B, except for the one round that they were going eco and they had the scout in the hands of Skadoodle, and it got recycled 3 times.
Yeah, so right now we're going to have a mid to B split, it looks like, as we have players at mid throwing the right and left smokes. And that could be because they've conditioned Mouse into assuming that it's going to be A every single round. This might allow a player to get an events. No, Gabi shuts that down, and our other man is hurt.
Chris J will have the op in his hands, though, working from inside the B bomb site, able to hit the first one, trying to go for a second one. Player's extremely low, and Skadoodle will take him down, punishing him for missing a shot. Freakazoid's in there also. Dennis will go on the rotate, able to clean up nothing. And Skadoodle down to 4 HP, Freakazoid with 28. They will get the bomb planted. Let's see if they can hold here. Both of them are going to force down into CT. Speedy's going to be up top in heaven. He's going to have the early read onto Freakazoid, takes him down, looking to see if he can hunt on Skadoodle, but Skadoodle with the op hits it. Can he get another peek? Gets the secondary shot. Now he's 1 versus 1. Preventing. No, but he's on the bomb. He's got to get over there quick. Only 2 seconds left. I don't think he can do it. No! Dennis gets off and Skadoodle dies! Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Tried to make the jump. Ends up dying. Dennis got off the bomb. That would have been amazing if Dennis didn't have time to get back onto the bomb.
Wile E. Coyote.
But it didn't work out.
Fell out of upper. Is that Bruno Mars song?
Oh goodness.
Oh man, that's yeah, I mean honestly that would have been an incredible round, 1v3. Sticking the bomb in that situation was the smart play. He got right on it. It was playing a default. Skadoodle was in a position where he basically had to bite on some sort of fake, and he actually did get off the bomb, so Skadoodle would have had a chance to win that round. I'm surprised he did.
Die.
Yeah, if he didn't die trying.
Craters himself.
Yeah, get the defuse or die trying.
In round 8 now, Mouse Sports will be up by 3 over Cloud9. Sean Garrett's outside B, though, waiting for anybody pushing there. He's able to pick up the first one. One more man is going to be there. That's going to be Chris J with the op. Chris J doesn't, he is getting a little aggressive now. Doesn't want to force too far out there. He knows at least one person was waiting there. But he's still very aggressive with this, though, just watching the vents from outside in Sunroom. Yeah. As Cloud9 slowing things down here.
So at this point, we have complete mid-control taken. Vents is being watched right now by Shroud. Freakazoid is all the way up at White Box, and Mouse Sports are down a player. These advantages are enormous. Freak is actually moving his way up Highway, and they could leave him here and do something else or meet him up at A, but the thing is that we have someone trying to cut off the A main, and Chris J also pushes B to get it for information. That's a great way to equalize.
Yeah, good jump there. Able to take down Sean Garris. Trades out that frag initially. Freakazoid just runs in backwards into the bomb site. Doesn't check quad fast enough. And Dennis will get him from quad. It will be a 3-on-2 now. With Skadoodle with the op in hands. Nothing. With the AK in his, they're going to force over towards that A bomb site. They will be 2-on-3 inside the bomb site. But Skadoodle looking to try to equalize this here with his op. Got one man up on the catwalk. And that man is going to be Chris J. He takes down nothing. And Dennis on the cleanup. 2K for Chris J, and 2 of them go to Dennis also. And that's going to be 6-2 now in favor of Mouse.
Yeah, again, with that much map control, and a team like Cloud9 and a brain like Sean Gares being up 5v4, having mid control, like a full-on lurk occurring, and then losing the round, getting 3 players of Mouse Sports alive to clean up is a huge failure on their part. Now they're back on a save, and it started with Chris J making the heads-up play of pushing B for information. Ended up working out beautifully, and for him to do that with an op, that takes big balls, my friend.
I mean, if you can hit your shots fast enough, the risk was worth the reward there for him.
Yeah.
As we're going to enter into round 9 now, Mouse Sports with a little bit of a comfortable lead now, 4 rounds to be exact. They have guns up. Cloud9's going to be onto an eco with just the pistols. I mean, they do have 4 flashbangs in total in those 2 smokes, so it is going to be some sort of set pistol coming out here into this A bomb site, it looks like. But I don't know. A bomb site really has been having some trouble for Cloud9.
Yeah. Now maybe they want to waste this round on the eco, change it up next round. It's hard to say. Overall, it feels like they have been a little bit predictable, and here they are trying to execute on the site.
Yeah, and Mouse is just adjusting very well onto these with Speedy and Nex not really in the same positions. They're rotating around. Dennis is in the site now, and they're just cleaning this bomb site up. I mean, Nex has already got 2. It looks like it should be a secondary one for Dennis to end the round, and it is. Mouse Sports adjusting very well to how Cloud9's trying to take this A bomb site.
Yeah, they've got a sizable lead, but one round they won. It was after 3-1 by Mouse Sports. They're up to 4 in a row lost, and they have enough money to buy at this point, but they're going to be back on the cycle over and over again. And then they're going to have to start snap buying. If they don't win this round now, they're going to lose the half numerically, and then they're going to be in a bad position going in the second half no matter what their score, losing any more rounds beyond that. So what they do here is going to be very interesting, and it looks like a boost early.
Oh, and they're going to counter boost somebody into the vents also, so they're going to put that man in the vents, and they're going to be very aggressive out in mid right now. That's going to be Gabi picks up one, Speedy, and Dennis also. Gabi's actually got himself at 2K, leaving only nothing left. He's going to be the solo man here, 1v4. He has the bomb in his bag, and they're so very aggressive in mid right now. You have 2 players in mid. You have 1 player in the vent towards mid. They spot out nothing. They know where he's at. The B-man will rotate all the way around and try and get the flank off onto him, and I believe that's going to be Chris J rotating from over there. And they pretty much have nothing locked in here until he leaks out into A main and has a free bomb site.
I mean, this is crazy. They had 4 players at mid while there was 1 player left alive. That's nothing. He's got the bomb. They don't have control of it, but they were, I mean, it just showed how much they knew exactly what Cloud9 were going to do in that situation. Went for mid control, answered back with mid control, and that obviously went the way of the CTs. When you have a read like that, playing 3 mid is so strong. Gabi cleans up here. 4 players alive for Mouse Sports. So far, an extremely dominant performance.
Yeah, Mouse Sports looking on point right now, reading very well here against Cloud9. And again, it's this situation where we're not really able to see Cloud9 here adjust the way that we think they should. I mean, they keep kind of going back to this A-bomb site, throwing those smokes down, and Mouse Sports is able to adjust. They're able to move their players around. I mean, Speedy, Nex, and Dennis inside that A-bomb site have been just kind of rotating through it, playing different spots almost every time, and it's catching Cloud9 completely off guard here.
Yeah, and here we have another save. And the thing is, you can play a half out, right? And you can, if you lose every single round, then only half of those rounds are rifle rounds, right? And when you look back at it, you only had a few chances. In those chances, maybe you want to go A, but that could be really predictable. Now they're going to smoke out the B site. They had a lot of success on this eco. Chris J, though, finds 2 through the smoke.
Oh, Sean Garris has got to get that frag. Able to get it from the gen set. Finally makes it happen. Takes down Gabi inside the site, but Nex is already on the rotate. Nex is able to hit 2 quick ones, and they're going to continue to push here. They do get money out of the round, but Nex will close it down. Gets himself 3. Chris J with the other 2. But Cloud9 did get the bomb planted. They are getting the money from that one, so going into the next round, they're going to be onto a healthy buy.
Yeah, they had 2 ecos going towards B. They had that 1 B split and that eco we just witnessed. Beyond that,